Hi Maker, this is Claire from Claire Makery, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet the sunflower stitch. This is a really fun textured stitch pattern that uses a combination of chains, single crochet, half double crochet, and bobbles as the centers of the flowers. It's so much fun to make, and I know that you're going to love making this stitch pattern. You can do it as intarsia crochet, tapestry crochet by carrying your yarn across, but this may look difficult, but it is, trust me, it is a lot simpler than it looks, and I can't wait to show you how we are going to make this stitch. If you are not subscribed to my channel already, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and like this video so I know you're excited about this stitch tutorial, and we'll go ahead and get started. To make this stitch pattern, you're going to need a couple different colors of worsted weight yarn. You'll need a background color, which I'm using white for my background. You'll need a yellow for your sunflower, and then a brown for the center of your sunflower. You can use any weight of yarn in order to do this stitch. It will change the size of the square that you make or the stitch, but you can add it to any project that uses a different weight of yarn. Just make sure that your hook size matches the yarn weight so that you're able to keep the gauge for the type of yarn that you're using. If you're using worsted weight, you'll need a size J 6mm crochet hook in order to meet the gauge for this pattern, and you can find the written pattern for this stitch on my blog at the link in the description, which will walk you through the different steps of this stitch. And we'll go ahead. To start doing the sunflower stitch, you're going to begin by chaining 23 and then starting in the third chain from the hook, doing 21 half double crochets across. You'll then chain 2 and turn and do 2 rows of 21 half double crochets till you end on your third row of this swatch, and then we will begin doing the sunflower stitch. So to start the sunflower stitch, we begin by making the center of it first before we do any of the petals. So we'll start by chaining 2, turning our work, and then doing 5 half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on this last yarn over, instead of finishing off our stitch with the white yarn, we are going to go ahead and take our brown yarn here, and you can use any color of brown, or if you want to even have your sunflowers have different colors in the center, you totally can. Then we're going to slip stitch as the last yarn over, so instead of using the white, we use the brown, and then we will start doing our first center of our sunflower. So to do that, we are going to start by yarning over, and then we're going to do a bobble in the next stitch with this brown yarn. So we will go to our next half double crochet, and we are going to start by basically doing a double crochet, but instead of doing it multiple times, instead of pulling through 2 loops and then the last 2 loops to finish the stitch, we're going to start by yarning over, pulling through the first 2 loops, and then we're going to yarn over and then insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and now we've got 3 on our hook, and we're going to repeat doing that till we have a total of 6 to 8 loops on our hook, depending on the size of bobble that you want. I like having big bobbles on my sunflowers so that the center really stands out, so I'm gonna do 8 loops on my hook here. And then instead of finishing off our bobble stitch by using this brown yarn and pulling through all the loops, we're going to take our white yarn and we're going to switch back to the white so we can crochet across to where we're going to do the next bobble. So then you just yarn over and then you pull through all of those loops and pull this brown yarn tight so that now you have your completed bobble stitch so that you've got your center right here. And then you're going to repeat the same process that we just did on the other sunflower. So you just crochet across to here till you've got 6 stitches left where you're going to do another bobble. So just follow along with the swatch pattern that's available on my blog. And then You can either carry your yarn across to your next sunflower. I would really recommend making a little yarn bobbin. So you just take some of this yarn that's here on your skein, and then you just make a tiny ball of yarn, or even wrap it around a clothespin, and then you just join your brown yarn whenever you need it, and that way you don't have any brown poking through any of your stitches on here, especially because the brown and the white are very contrasting colors, so the brown yarn will show through your stitches. So if you don't want to have it poke through your stitches, I recommend doing intarsia. And then once you do that second bobble, then I will show you how to start doing the flower petals. So in this next part, I'm going to show you how to do the sunflower petals around the center of the sunflower that we made with our bobble stitch. So what you're going to be doing, like this is what the finished one looks like, is you're going to be chaining different amounts and then joining it around this bobble stitch. So once you get to the stitch right before that center, what you're going to do is you are going to switch colors and switch to your yellow yarn here. Then you will do 1 half double crochet in the top of that bobble stitch right there. Then we are going to chain 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we single crochet in each of these chain stitches that we just did. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then what we will do is we've now formed our first petal here. We are going to come around to the front, and then we are going to insert our hook around this loop right here on the brown, and we are going to slip stitch it with that last loop from our petal that we just made, and this is going to secure it around that bobble stitch. Then we are going to repeat the process over and over again until we have gotten enough petals to go all the way around the flower. So as you do this, you'll just be slip stitching through different loops around that bobble stitch in order to place the petals on there. What I like to do is just kind of go around the ones that go right by that bobble stitch. That way we get it as close to that center as possible without having a lot of white showing through or whatever background color you're using. So like for instance, I am going to want to put this stitch to go right around here, so I'm going to insert my hook through that loop I just did and also go around that white yarn from one of those other half double crochets. So on this flower, I was able to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sunflower petals. You can do as few or as many as you want. I liked to condense them around the flower to have all of those petals show up really nicely, and then you'll just do that all the way around this center stitch, just repeating that chain 6, then starting the second chain from your hook, you single crochet down, and then join to that bobble right there. So once you have done your last slip stitch for your last petal, you'll have all these petals around this bobble stitch that you made, and then it's time to finish off our row by using the white yarn. So what I like to do is I will take my yarn that I've been working with, I'm going to insert my hook through that yellow stitch that we made at the base of our flower, and I'm going to switch to the white and pull that through to switch colors with that slip stitch. Make sure that you pull your yarn to tighten up that last loop right there so that your sunflower stays secure, and then you will go ahead and finish off your row with however many stitches you've got in it, or like with this sample, I've got 4 half double crochets right here. Once you have reached the end of this first row where you added the sunflower petals, then what you will do is then you can just chain 2 and then continue the half double crochets for the next few rows. With this stitch, you just repeat everything that I just showed you with the sunflower petals and the center as well. And you can have the rows spaced as little or apart as you want, meaning you can have like 10 rows that you have in between the flowers. You can really just put these as close or as far apart from each other as you want to, and that's essentially how you just do the rest of the stitch with as many rows as you want in between, and then just repeating this whole process that we just did with the sunflower. Once you are all done with your swatch, it will look like this to get the 6" by 6" square. It will have a total of 4 sunflowers on it, but you can always use this stitch as many times as you want to add sunflowers to any crochet project. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the like button below so that I know that you enjoyed this, and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on any of the upcoming stitch tutorial patterns that I have planned here on my blog and my YouTube channel. And I can't wait to show you what I have next. See you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like it below if you enjoyed watching it, and hit the subscribe button if you never want to miss out a video from me. And also check out my other videos and tutorials on my channel. See you next time.